Hello pretties, welcome to Viv's Room. So today is Friday evening and I don't usually film this late or on a Friday, but I did my makeup for work. I'm showing it off because I was like, and I did this like super early in the morning. I mean, it's not super early, it was like 8 a.m, 9 a.m. My makeup's been on since it's 7 o'clock at night now and it still looks pretty good. So I was like, I need to show it off. So I'm gonna film a video I wasn't planning on filming. So stay tuned for that. So I essentially told you guys that I saw Jen Loves Reviews talk about all of the brands that she no longer buys from, and that spin off the video that I posted on Thursday that talks about brands that I want to buy from, and I mentioned that I was going to potentially do a brands that I do not want to buy from video, and what a perfect excuse in having a good makeup day to film that video. So here we are in my airhead ways because my head is so big right now. I need to pop it before it gets to my head. Anyway, let's do this. Brands that I do not want to, that I do not purchase from. I do want to go ahead and say this right now. These brands, most of them are considered cruelty-free. Some of them are questionable, but for the most part, these are considered cruelty-free. And all non-cruelty-free brands I don't include here. Of course, there are more brands that I thought about putting in here, but I was like, I probably would buy from them if just the right thing came along, but it just hasn't. Anyway, let's just get to it. No surprise here, Morphe Cosmetics. So with Morphe, honestly, I used to really like Morphe. I used to own a bunch of palettes, and then I got into ColourPop, and I was like, why the heck would I spend this money on Morphe when I can just have ColourPop? And ColourPop's formula is so good, and it's so much more affordable, and I think that their color stories are far more unique. And I honestly feel like Morphe is almost like a one-trick pony. Like, they only know how to do big palettes, I feel like. Now, don't take me the wrong way. I do own some things from Morphe, specifically 2 palettes, a 24G and my Jaclyn Hill palette, which I actually do think that my Jaclyn palette is really good quality. And I actually think the 24G is pretty good quality as well. Just as an FYI, I don't have the original one, the one that came out in 2017. I bought mine in 2018. But I still think it's really good quality. So I don't know how amazing the 2017 formula is, but I think my 2018 formula is still pretty good. That aside, that is the only products I own from them. And I've talked about how I potentially have thought about decluttering my 24G. I actually do enjoy that palette, but it's so large that it gives me anxiety just having it in my collection, if that's even a thing. So all these large palettes are just, it's too much. I don't think I could handle it. I think when I first got started into makeup back in 2017, 2018, I think it would have made sense. It made sense for me to buy them, but now it just doesn't, not with the amount of makeup I own now. And so that's why Morphe is just, I don't know. And I just feel like there's more affordable palettes, because I feel like they've gone past that affordableness to now like mid-range. They're definitely mid-range now, and I feel like there's so many more affordable that are better quality, and it just doesn't make sense, you know. So moving along, because I spend way too much time on that. BH Cosmetics, and this is one where I have no basis for my decision. I just don't buy from BH Cosmetics. Their cruelty-free status is questionable, to say it mildly, but that's not, I mean, I've bought from other questionable cruelty-free brands. I try not to, but I have, and they're not one of them. It's just, I don't know what it is about, like, I don't know if it's their aesthetic that feels, I don't want to say that it looks cheap, because y'all know me, I like cheap makeup. That's not the problem. But I don't know if it's like the aesthetic feels childish, or it just isn't my thing. I feel like they're so theme based where I just couldn't get behind it. But then I'm like, well, ColourPop is very theme based too, so I feel like that's silly. So I don't know what it is. Like, I can't put my finger on why I won't buy from BH Cosmetics. And I've heard good things about their quality and about their brushes, and for whatever reason, there's like nothing. And I don't know that there ever will be anything that would excite me from BH Cosmetics to want to purchase anything from them. So moving along. Fenty Beauty. So first off, I did not cancel Fenty Beauty. like everybody else did on the internet, I was already not on board since like way before. I've only owned one product from KVD Beauty, sorry. KVD Beauty. I owned one product from them, and it was because I got a Sephora lip collection bundle thing, and it had one KVD item. And I was never really interested in anything before. I was never really interested in anything after, and it's just one of those like super boring brands to me. Like there's nothing about it that really catches my attention, and I'm just like why should I put myself through this, you know? And there also the whole issues with like Kat Von D, where I was like, I don't know if I should purchase from her. But that even aside, like there's nothing that incites me. I feel like that's a brand for old people. I'm sorry if you like KVD Beauty and you're young. I'm sorry. It's not meant to be a generalization, but I feel like it's a brand made for old people. Moving along. I have Stila. And Stila is one of those brands where I hear good things about them. But it's always about very specific products, and even those still have their drawbacks. I always hear like the Stila glitters. There's really good things about them, and then they dry out in like 3 months, so you have to use them up right away. Or their highlighters are really good, but you can only buy them in this one specific store in the middle of fucking nowhere. So it's just like, I feel like you have to jump through hoops to get the good stuff, and even then there's more hoops you have to run through, and I'm just like, I don't want to deal with all that. I just want to buy makeup. So still not interested. All right, Jeffree Star. I will say there was a time where I was interested in Jeffree Star's beauty, and it is not because of his recent stuff. When his brand first came out, there was so many people that said that his liquid lipstick formula was like out of this world. It was so good, and I was like, I need to try this liquid lipstick formula apparently. So I ended up my boyfriend had placed me an order on Morphe Cosmetics website, and I told him, hey, we need a couple more dollars to meet the free shipping. Buy me a liquid lipstick from Jeffree Star, because they sell it on Morphe, and I can finally try this liquid lipstick that everyone's talking about. I didn't realize this, but I bought the metallic version of a liquid lipstick, not the matte one or the cream one for the matter, and I freaking hated it. I hated that liquid lipstick so bad. Any desire that I ever had to try anything from him went to shit. Just straight up went to shit. I didn't want to try anything else from it. It was the worst. It was clumpy, and I did not like it. The shade was pretty. If it was a matte, I wonder if I would have really liked it, and then I would have been more enticed to buy from him. But because that first experience was so bad, I was just like, I don't even care anymore. And it was too expensive for how little I used it. So that was the beginning and the end of Jeffree Star for me. It was super quick. And this was years before everything started happening. This was when he was still friends with Laura and Manny. So anyway, moving along. We have, this one's gonna get me in trouble, but I'm gonna say it. Fenty Beauty. And this one's a hard one for me because there is a lot of things that do draw me in. There's a lot of things that really catch my attention, and I'm like, do I want to try that? Do I want to try this? But I just feel like, one, Fenty Beauty's cruelty-free status is questionable. That aside, with them, I feel like all of the products are not meant for me. Like, I always feel like the foundation is meant for people with dry skin. Even their illuminating foundation, I felt like it was too heavy and it was way too dry on me. That's how dry my skin is, guys. I'm not kidding. Because a lot of people are saying that one's too dewy, right? I still felt like that one was too dry for me. And I feel like I hear good things about their blushes here and there, but I'm just like, the colors are too crazy. That's not what I'm into, because whatever I buy, my goal will always be to try to finish that up within the next 2 years. So if I'm buying something that I know I'm not going to use consistently, or that I won't be able to finish relatively quickly, why would I buy that? So I'm just like, I just feel like maybe they're taking too many risks and I'm playing it safe, or like I said, just skin wise we just don't vibe like that. I don't know what it is, but Fenty we just ain't in that level. And I'm sorry to hear that because I love Riri. She's my fave. So, okay. I know I've been moving a lot, guys, but I can't sit still. I don't know why. I'm having such a hard time. This one I have a lot of feelings about, and I'm going to try to keep it concise because I could talk about this brand forever. And that's going to be Too Faced. Actually, give me a second. I need to plug this in. Okay. So even before this whole thing happened with like naked tutorials and supposedly she getting outed, I had a lot of feelings about Too Faced. Ever, the first time that I ever kind of like I heard something negative about them that really caught my eye was when Tati talked about this, and I think it was almost like 4 or 5 years ago. But she talked about the reason why she stopped reviewing Too Faced items in her channel was because she would give them honest reviews, and the owner, I don't know what the guy's name is, met they met at an event, and he was very nasty towards Tati and very disrespectful. And she ended up leaving early, and she was bawling, crying. She like this guy was attacking her essentially. And think what you want about Tati, about everything that's going on with her now, but back then Tati was a very reliable source for me. And I always trusted her views on items because she was very honest, and I always appreciated that about her. And so my issue was not even that the guy was mean or disrespectful to Tati, but he did this out of an honest review. So you don't want to hear criticism, or you're not trying to improve your brand, period. All you want to hear is positive feedback. And if you're not a yes man, then you're not with me. And there's something wrong with that. And I thought I was like, oh, and I was like, I'll keep, like, I was like, I'm gonna keep that in mind. But I don't know that I will buy from Too Faced. At that point, I hadn't completely like written them off. Then about a year or two later, there was this issue with Kelly Gooch. She's one of my favorite YouTubers. I've mentioned her like a million times. And she was talking about how she used to get PR from Too Faced, and then she was doing a review for them, and she said some kind things and some not so kind things about their products. And the Too Faced sister guy, the guy's sister, I don't know, she went on her comment section and called her ungrateful and started going off on her and whatnot. And then all of a sudden after that, she never received PR from Too Faced again. And I was like, see, and I was like, that's the same thing that Taji said. They just don't like to hear criticism. And I'm just like, there's no brand out there that will ever be able to do 100% just knock it out of the park. It's impossible. But if you're not willing to hear the feedback, it's not gonna happen. And I feel like that's one of the reasons why Too Faced has died down from the internet, even before the whole Nikki tutorials thing happened. And that's because things like this happen. Like, they're cutting people off because they give honest reviews instead of taking it as criticism to try and improve their formula. So they giving us the same redone palette. Like, who's tired of the gingerbread palette? Who's tired of it? I'm tired of it. And I never even bought it. But it's the gingerbread spice, whatever, the gingerbread, whatever, cinnamon. And it's all these gingerbread palettes. And the original wasn't even that good. Was it a top seller? Was I just the only one? But I feel like I only heard about it like here and there, and then it was gone. But they're making it seem like it was the biggest palette to ever sell. All the chocolate bars, and granted, I've heard really good thing about their formula, but I'm like, nothing's worth all that hassle. Anyway, I had a lot of feelings about Too Faced. And then there's also the Nikki tutorials thing that is so disrespectful what they did to Nikki about trying to out her. And somebody that's LGBTQ myself, I was just like, excuse me, that's not okay. That's not okay at all. But even before that happened, Nikki had already mentioned how she had issues with them when she did her collaboration with them, and how they were going, she mentioned how they were doing some shady stuff with the formula, and she was not on board with any of that, and she was so disrespected. She felt so bad for her subscribers who bought what she thought was the actual product, but then they were downgrading the formula so they can sell out more. And that is so not okay. And it's the same mentality of, anyway, I'm just gonna move on. Move on. Makeup revolution. Makeup Revolution and all of its affiliates. I will say there's one product from Makeup Revolution that if anything were to happen, I'm in a pinch, I will absolutely buy it, and that is their concealer in the shade C8, because I actually really did enjoy that concealer for a very long time, and I was in a pinch. I needed to buy concealer. I'm out of concealer. All of a sudden, I'm in the middle of nowhere. I need to buy something, and Makeup Revolution's right there. I will pick it up because it's cruelty free and it's a nice concealer. And honestly, there's not a lot of product in there, so I'll probably go through it pretty quickly. I went through many of those in my time, but overall, the aesthetic of Makeup Revolution reminds me a little bit of ColourPop, but with like lower quality, slightly higher price ranges, and not nearly as creative. So I don't appreciate how they, knock off other brands, like the Lunar Beauty incident where they knocked off the highlighters, or I mean, how many of them? Like they've knocked off Too Faced, they've knocked off Tarte, all of these other brands, and Too Faced and Tarte are not even known for being that creative. You couldn't like rip off somebody better or come up with better ideas, because honestly, theirs aren't that great. So it's just like, I don't want to buy from you because I don't respect you. That's what it is. I don't respect them. Moving along to Kylie Cosmetics. So there was a time in my day that I was interested and I wanted to purchase from Kylie Cosmetics, but the more reviews that I saw, the less likely, the reviews were so mixed, where some people loved her stuff and some people didn't. The thing that really caught my attention were her lip products, and all I've heard about her lip products were how dry they are. And I have extremely dry skin where I can't take that chance. And her palettes were always, I feel like, overpriced from what they were, because in my mind, they're made at C Beauty, right? So they're the same brand as ColourPop. They're essentially using the same products as ColourPop. So I'm just like, I don't know that it's worth the price when ColourPop's right there, and they're so much more affordable. So I'm just like, I don't know if it's worth it. I know the lighting's getting a little worse. The sun is starting to set, so bear with me. Anyway, Kylie Cosmetics, I don't know. And then at this point, I do think her packaging is really good, but I don't know if I trust the brand enough, or that I've heard enough good things about it where I can say I want to try it. So anyway, moving along. This next three that I'm gonna say, there's actually a good chance that if anything were to come out in the future, I may buy it. I don't think it will happen, and that's why they're in this list. But if something really good came, I might do it. Okay, so first off, the next one is KKW, talking about the Kardashians. Let's go to Kim. The thing about KKW is that it reminds me similar to like Fenty Beauty. I feel like it was meant for an old person. And again, if you love KKW and you're a young person, I apologize. It's not meant against you. There's something so uninspiring about the brand. And not to say that I'm the inspiring person. I wear a lot of, nudes myself. But there's something about KKW. It almost feels lackluster. I know that she likes very clean stuff, and that's why all her packaging is very minimalist and everything. And I can see that, because if you've seen her home, it's very much so the same look and brand. But that's not what I want for my makeup. I want something fun. Makeup is supposed to be fun. And I've said this before. I know some women wear makeup because they're insecure about the way their skin looks, or they just they're trying to cover up just a little thing here and there. But me personally, I wear makeup because it's fun. I don't think I need to wear makeup every day. I feel very confident. I mean, I've been on camera before without any makeup. I feel very confident not wearing makeup, and I didn't get into makeup until after I finished college. So that wasn't really a thing for me. I went through my entire high school and college career without really wearing any makeup at all. I think I just wore concealer, and that's mostly because my dark circles are so dark. And that is something that I am insecure about, but I don't necessarily, I've definitely gone without concealer out in the streets. Even though I'm insecure about it, it doesn't deter me from having to wear makeup for it, So for me, makeup is supposed to be fun, but I feel like KKW just like drains the fun out of it. I feel exhausted. I've heard really good things about her formula, about her concealers. I've heard, I think she does a good job with the shade ranges for the most part. She does a really good range of things. So I think that's pretty awesome. It's just, I feel like it's so manufactured that it's not fun. And if you compare that to like ColourPop's always something like something fun and new, and I know I'm not 15 anymore, but I'm not old either. I'm still in my 20s. I'm enjoying my life, you know, and I think it's cute. It's nice to have cute packaging. Like, let me pull out all my ColourPop palettes, you know. Like, okay, this was not their most exciting one, but still more colorful than the KK Beauty's. Look how beautiful that is. This is actually reminds me a little bit of KK Beauty, but that's the only one. Look how pretty that looks. Like, that looks so editorial. Come on, it's adorable. And I'm just like, KK Beauty, can you show me a little color? Everything's always so new. Like, even if you look at her palettes, everything's so the same. Like, you look at ColourPop, you know, warms. You look at the, you know, pinks. Warm greens. Like, there's life in this makeup, whereas KKW, I just feel like it's dead, and that's an extreme version of saying that. Now, don't take me the wrong way, and I mentioned this, potentially if KKW ever came out with something that really caught my eye and I felt like there was life behind it, I might potentially buy it. I don't ever think that they're gonna do that because that's just not her aesthetic, and I understand that, and maybe we and her just don't vibe that way. And I'm okay with that. Moving along to Dose of Colors. Okay. This one is one where I almost debated not putting it in this list because I was like, I could potentially buy from them. I really could. I could see myself. There's been a lot of things that they come out of that I was like, I was thought about the Friendication palette for a second, and then I was like, the reviews were so mixed where I was like, I'm unsure, and the review from the quality was so mixed, so I was like, I don't know. And I've heard good things about the liquid lipsticks, and I'm actually really excited because I actually won one in a makeup giveaway. So I have a liquid lipstick from Dose of Colors, and this is all I own from them. I was interested in their small monochromatic match palettes. Those caught my attention, but the color stories, I just didn't feel right because I feel like I had all those shades, and I'm like, I don't know. But there's something about Dose of Colors that it never triggers me to go for the kill. I never feel like I want to go get it. The I Love Sarai palette, I love Sarai. I said it wrong. I love Sarai. I really thought about it. I was like, do I want it? Do I want it? And then I was like, no, you don't. You do, but you don't. And so I don't know how I feel about that brand. I have a lot of thoughts. I have a lot of things about it that I do like, and then there's a lot of things that I'm just like, this just feels boring. It's definitely not the same boring from KKW. I think they do some more exciting things, but I don't know what it is. I don't think they're overpriced where I would never purchase anything, but there's just something about that brand that keeps not. Yes, anyway, I don't know how to put that into words, so I'm just gonna move on. And then the next one is Flower Beauty, and this is the last brand that I could potentially see myself buying something. The thing with Flower Beauty is that, as you guys have known, they're kind of getting phased out, and I don't know why. I still hear them on the internet, on YouTube. They're relatively popular with influencers, so that's not really a thing, but they're getting phased out of stores, and it's getting really hard to like find them because it used to be at Ulta, and I feel like their section's getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and I feel like one of these days I'm gonna go in and it's not gonna be there at all. And same thing with Walmart. Although honestly, I don't like to step into Walmart. I don't know about you guys, but my Walmarts freak me out. The Walmarts in my town freak me out. I feel like, I don't know what it is where Walmarts make people look crazy. Walmarts make people act crazy. I don't like it, so I don't go there. So I'm not gonna go to Walmart just to buy from Flower Beauty. sorry, no, not worth it. It's just not worth it. It's not worth it. People act crazy at Walmart. I don't want to find out. I just don't want to find out. Anyway, as I feel like they're just getting phased out, and it's hard for me to want to buy from them because I want to see the makeup before. Also, there's nothing that they've really come out with that's caught my attention. I heard some good things about the foundation, but I also saw that it probably would have matched well with my skin type. So I was like, all right, well, that's not gonna work. I have no interest in the eyeshadow formula, and I know I've heard really good things about their highlighters, but they sell them in a palette, and I'm like, I don't want to buy a highlighter palette. That's not the kind of makeup I want to do. So I'm like, I've heard a lot of good things, but I don't know if it's a mixture of them getting phased out or anything, but I don't feel like buying from them. And that's that. All right, moving on. This is the last. I have just two more, finally. The other one is going to be LA Girl. And this one's going to sound super effed up. But the reason why I don't like to buy from them is because a couple of years ago, I used to try them because they were in my local drugstore. So I would buy a couple of things from them here and there. And the quality was always shitty. Okay, the quality was just shitty. And I know I've heard a lot of good things since then, that their quality has improved a lot. But I have that perception of them engraved in my brain that they are the reason why the drugstore used to have such bad reputation. And in my head, they are the reason. Not alone, but they're the reason. Okay? So, and I know that this is not true anymore because I started to hear really good things about him, but in my head, I still have this stigma about him, and I don't want to take my chances. I just don't. I used to try him. I didn't go well. I'm moving on. Last one, but certainly not least, it's Pacifica. I know the lighting has really changed in this video. I apologize, guys. Is that better? No, that made it worse. Anyway, we get a little closer. Pacifica, okay? Pacifica. And I don't know about you guys, but have you ever heard a positive review about Pacifica Cosmetics? I've heard good things about the skincare, and I've personally tried their skincare, and I think it's okay. And I've heard okay things about their fragrances, but they're not really long lasting, but they're so cheap, so it's like, But their makeup, I don't know that I've ever heard a positive review about their makeup. I can't think of one item that's positive. If you have, please do let me know. But I haven't heard a good thing about it. I remember, what's her name? Christine Chang did a review of their foundation. And it's supposed to be like it's supposed to be a matte foundation. And keep in mind, Christina Chang has dry skin, just like myself. We usually end up liking similar foundations, right? So she put that foundation, and she was like, this is the weirdest thing in the world. Mama, don't cry. That foundation make her skin oily. Like, not just a little, like a lot. My husky is being a talker today. She must be sad. By the way, guys, she just got the cutest little hoodie. I just bought her a hoodie. And look how pretty she looks. Okay, come on. Camera. Look how pretty that hoodie looks on her. Doesn't she look gorgeous in the hoodie? Okay. Anyway, this video is long overdue. We're done. Pacifica, if you heard a good review, let me know. Anyway, please don't forget to like and subscribe so you become a resident of Israel. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.